Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day. To start things off, the cryptocurrency market has followed gold and Wall Street by losing substantial chunks of value. Bitcoin dropped by around 2% to around, it says below 10,300, but we actually hit a smidger below that a couple of hours ago after reclaiming some ground yesterday. Bitcoin has returned to its recent bearish trend by dropping below 10,300 US dollars. Most altcoins follow, with some notable price drops, resulting in a near $10 billion that was evaporated from the total market cap of the cryptocurrency market. But, this is to be fair, we've had news like this before, and I think for some reason, I think it sounds substantial to say that the cryptocurrency market had $10 billion, $30 billion evaporated from it, but we've also seen all it takes is a swing upward and the entire crypto market cap regains $80 billion. So that's neither here nor there. As reported yesterday, the primary cryptocurrency recovered some of its recent losses and traded around the previous 2020 highs of around $10,500. However, the asset couldn't maintain its position and began free falling once again. In just a few hours, Bitcoin went from its daily high of 10,500 to around 10,130 on Binance. I think it hit like 10,090 on some other places as well. Since then, the digital asset has recovered some ground and is trading now just around 10,300 US dollars. So as one might have expected, question mark. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Dow ends 525 points lower as tech tumbles. Stocks close near session lows. Apple's shares skid down by 4.2%. So the fear, for some reason, is now gripping Wall Street. When you look around, if you look at what analysts are saying, they are expecting a full, complete, I don't know what word to really use, drop in the stock market. They're all expecting it right now at this point. They say that any type of movement upward is simply people trying to push their money into the market to try and catch dips, but they say that they are in store for a major dip. And this is why it appears that the stock market is dropping. We have a lot of news about current fears about 19, which is just absolutely wonderful, as if it hasn't been around for the last 6 to 7 months. What's the other news? I think job numbers came in and they weren't as great as people were expecting because, you know, people still don't have jobs. So I'm not sure where they thought that number was going to go. And there was one other thing. I think it was that the other worldwide stock markets are also now beginning to feel the pressure of this as well. And I think, what was the last news piece that I saw? Something to do with the Fed coming forward yesterday and telling people that they were going to continue pushing money into the market. But I think people realizing that it was like how the article put it, it was something along the lines of people don't assume that the money that they're pushing into the market will actually mean anything because everyone knows that it's kind of fake, funny money that's being pushed in to keep things levitating, if you will. So, yeah, I'm expecting a drop in the stock market as we near the weekend, like a really heavy fall. I don't know what Monday is going to be like. Who knows what the weekends are like behind closed doors when it comes to the traditional financial markets and what people are discussing and what they're going to buy. However, apparently, as the fear correlation is very strong in our market, if that happens, expect to hear news about a $9,200 Bitcoin, if not an $8,600 Bitcoin. We'll get all the news about blood in the streets, and this happened to Bitcoin, and the bears are doing so and so. No, it just probably is. I've suspected for a while that a lot of the people who left Wall Street are probably into crypto now, and they probably follow the same exact metrics and probably have decided that, you know, if we can sell off Bitcoin and get it at a lower value than we previously had it before, why not do so? They don't care about the actual decentralization at all. For them, it is simply money. Did you guys, I must have shown you or tweeted it or something like that. There was some video with this guy. He was saying, I don't care where the market goes. I think he was discussing about Bitcoin. He's like, my entire point is just to make money. He's like, I made $250,000 so-and-so in this amount of time frame, and I aim to always make more. So their main goal is just to pump around the price and make as much money as they can. Anyway, yeah, Bitcoin price tumbled. We moved back up a tiny bit, and altcoins followed. Some of them are still in the red. But when Bitcoin rises by 3 to 4%, altcoins rise by about 8 to 10. But a lot of them took heavy hits the last couple of days. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, in of course news, the president and CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland has revealed details on the Fed's ongoing research into a potential digital dollar. Speaking in a keynote address, on the 23rd of September, Loretta Mester emphasized that the Federal Reserve has been exploring central bank digital currency since before 19. Noting that his board of governors has been building and testing a range of distributed ledger platforms to understand their potential benefits and trade-offs. She also noted initiatives from regional Federal Reserve branches, including a multi-year partnership with MIT and the Boston Fed, in addition to collaboration between the Fed's New York branch and the Bank for International Settlements, who we also heard about in the news yesterday. Despite the ongoing research, Mester asserted that the initiatives do not signal any decision by the Federal Reserve to adopt such a currency, adding that issues related to financial stability, market structure, security, privacy, and monetary policy all need to be better understood, end quote. One, of course, they were doing this. Two, of course, they have multiple chains probably going on. If I assume that every single Fed within the U.S. has their own chain running to try and test this thing out. Why do I even say of course? Is because remember a couple of months ago when they were talking about the stimulus checks going out, the only stimulus check going out, and how they were planning on doing it, and some people in the, I don't know if they were in the White House, I don't really care where they were, who were like, hey, why don't we use the digital US dollar and send it out to everyone that way they can download an app. And I was like, wait, someone said that out loud? It was kind of weird that, during the talk of people getting direct deposits and or sending it through the mail, that someone was like, hey, why don't we just use that US dollar that we have? And then somebody was like, hey, shut your mouth. Another person was like, but we have it. Remember the whole thing? They were like, people can just simply go to their local post office and get it. It was all, yeah, that was the other thing. They were like, we can just integrate the digital US dollar with the post office. And I was like, so they already have it. Because that was such short notice. I doubt that if they announced on a Monday that they were going to be deciding on a stimulus package, that by Friday, the digital dollar would be up and running. So clearly they've had these before. And just a huge amount of testing that's probably going into it. Who knows? I mean, they probably have their own fears as far as like control and stuff like that. I think what was the thing that we read yesterday? Or was I reading that on my own? It has something to do with like if people realize that the peg of the digital US dollar wasn't as strong as the peg or something like that, or the strength of a decentralized cryptocurrency, that people could simply sell off their digital dollar and then get the tethered version. I forgot what it was. It's something about a fear of people realizing that the digital dollar, this one right here, could be complete garbage, and therefore they sell off into a cryptocurrency, which then causes instability for the U.S. economy all at once, because it's kind of like a bank run, but like an immediate bank run. You know how like stuff like travels really fast on social media like lightning? Imagine if something happened to the digital U.S. dollar. Everyone was like, hey, this is garbage, dump it. Or like if Ariana Grande or some other celebrity was like, hey, I don't use a digital dollar anymore, and everyone kind of went away from it. Like, have you seen, like, anyway, I was about to start talking about celebrities. Who was that celebrity who mentioned like, oh, I don't use this app anymore, and the next day they were like gone? Like, what, the power they have. So anyway, of course the Fed has been doing this. Of course they probably have multiple chains. This is of course all speculation, but logically, let's move on. In incredibly popular news, like almost to the point of being uncharacteristically, why is this so popular? Tim Draper, the prominent venture capitalist and tech billionaire who purchased nearly 30,000 Bitcoin that were seized from Silk Road, has revealed his digital currency holdings span at least through half a dozen different crypto coins. Speaking at a recent investment conference, Draper revealed that his holdings include Bcash, XRP, Tezos, Aragon, adding, he said, "I'm a believer. I think it's happening. Adoption. It's coming. It's so important for the world, and I want the world to know it. And I want other people to people in the world to get on board." What a weird sentence. Draper's comments come only 3 weeks after his Twitter account appeared to be subject to a hack to promote Bcash. The suspicious tweet announced that the venture capitalist had purchased Bcash, thanking a fake account impersonating Roger Ver for providing this innovation. But the fact that he does actually hold Bcash casts a new light on the incident. No, it doesn't. So for those of you, once again, who don't get it and haven't gotten it before, this guy, look at when Silk Road happened. Him, Novogratz, and a bunch of other ones, they all were able to purchase Bitcoin at around $1, a literal dollar, if not $10. The guy that we heard from yesterday, Chamath Palpataya, I know I'm mispronouncing his last name. He mentioned that he got Bitcoin around $13. They all got in very, very early. If this guy held 30,000 Bitcoin around 2012, 13, 14, 15, remember what happened in 2017? That's right. The Bcash hard fork happened. And anyone who was holding 30,000 Bitcoin also received 30,000 Bcash. Around that same exact time, for those who don't remember, I think Bcash was around $14? Somewhere around, it was incredibly low as Bitcoin shot up to $20,000. I think Bcash went to 1,000, 2,000? It was some obscene amount. And therefore, this guy he became a multi-millionaire just from a forked protocol. And this is why we saw so many other Bitcoin forks, because people were trying to replicate the exact same thing. So just logically speaking, here we go. Here's the logic bomb. If Bcash is, I'll be nice. If Bcash is a coin that potentially will dramatically rise in value once again, as Bitcoin rises in value, if we're talking about a $20, $30, $40, $50,000 Bitcoin, we're probably talking about a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 Bcash. That's not me telling you to buy Bcash by any means. It's just more of a logic. So why not hold on to these coins? I almost said something bad again. And become a multimillionaire again just from those coins. He also mentioned years ago that he also bought XRP for not even pennies on the dollar, like pennies on the penny, like for absolutely nothing. Tezos, I told you all before, I believe is an institution coin that was made by rich people behind the scenes to kind of make their own coin and say, hey, look at what we replicated. Aragon, have no idea why. I assume at some point he was part of the whole Ethereum ICO movement and thought that I think Aragon is a governance token. I think that's what it is. That would also make it very big. I wouldn't be shocked as well if he owned some Omise Go or some IOTA or some other coin. This was very popular news. Like there's also mega popular news. So this is very popular news floating around right now. Of course, they all own altcoins, all of them. Even I think the only people who I would consider only owning Bitcoin is Chamath, perhaps Pompliano, and maybe, Andreas Antonopoulos is neither here nor there. Like, we know what coin he owns, and maybe one other person. All the other people, all these other venture capitalists, they're trying to hedge their bets, albeit with really bad coins. So yeah, I don't know if I'm missing something, but this is super popular right now. Of course, they hold altcoins. They're trying to make more money. Like, imagine if we get to a situation where this person, I'm just speculating, bought XRP for a penny or half of a penny, which used to be the price, and it goes up to $10. Well, by golly, if he had 30,000 Bitcoin, one can only assume this man holds, at least speculating, around 100 million XRP. Speculation. Anyway, that's that news. And let's move on. I don't even know what's this one. Yes. Also in the most popular news of the day. According to Bloomberg's report, Cryptocurrency exchange Gemini Trust Company, LLC, is expanding into the United Kingdom after being granted an electronic money license from the Financial Conduct Authority. The New York-based firm was founded by the Winklevoss twins, who, after claiming, "Who cares? That's not even relevant. What does that have to do with the news right now?" Gemini will now let UK consumers buy products with the leading cryptocurrency Bitcoin using regular debit cards as a funding source. Investors in cryptocurrency will similarly be able to fund digital wallets via bank payments such as CHAPS without having to pay foreign exchange fees. Tyler said London is one of the birthplaces of modern finance and has a rich tradition of regulation, sure, but also fosters an environment of innovation, adding that the who cares? Very popular news. This one says Winklevoss, here's the Bloomberg report. Winklevoss twins crypto exchange is expanding into the UK. This one says Gemini enables GBP deposits for crypto purchases in the UK. This one says crypto exchange Gemini launches in the UK. This one says Winklevoss twins Gemini exchange now allows buying crypto with British pound in the UK. For some reason, this was mega popular. I don't know I'm sure they do. Do people in the UK not have access to any cryptocurrency exchanges? Was the only option the Gemini twins? Could it be that there's simply another gateway for people in the United Kingdom to be able to use the British pound? That must be it. I'm pretty sure you all had Coinbase and Binance and possibly even Kraken. So, yes, maybe this is your fourth. No, even before that, there were actual other cryptocurrency exchanges before the big four. I don't know if this tickles your fancy. I'm not sure what it does. However, I know this news is great for someone because I'm missing about a good 18 other tabs discussing this. This was very popular. Maybe it's crypto adoption. Maybe do people in the UK like the sound of the word Winklevoss? And maybe that's like, ooh, I'm going to use that exchange. I don't know what it could be. Anyway, yes, that's the news for that. And without further ado, let's move on. In adoption, but the adoption is dystopian news, Venezuela's National Superintendency of Crypto Assets and Related Activities, or SUNACRIP, I assume that has to be SUNACRIPTO, has issued the first decree to officially regulate all crypto mining activities. In order to qualify, miners will need to meet specific requirements. Oh boy, here we go. An official announcement was first published in the Gaceta Oficial and signed by the head of the SUNACRIP, Joselit Ramirez. It stated that residents in Venezuela who are interested in mining Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies must request a license and join the so-called national pool. The legal framework asks people to disclose what kind of activities they would like to do in crypto mining, such as trading, importing, or using mining equipment. The government will also issue a special license for those who want to manufacture ASIC mining hardware or build mining farms. About the national pool, the SUNACRIP defined it as followed. I don't even care to read all of this because I know it's going to be ridiculous. So, the news is, quite popular news, is that Venezuela has, first of all, backtracking it. Listen, this is why I said adoption, but very dystopian. Venezuela was the first country in the world to allow cryptocurrency remittances. Did you all forget that? You probably did, because I told you it should have had a major effect on the cryptocurrency market's prices, but it didn't. I think it was last year. Pretty sure it was last year. Venezuela having hardships because their national currency is, someone said, if you took a grain of sand, from the actual beach, it would be the equivalent to like what would be, parrying or equaling to their national currency. Like, it's absolutely worthless. So they announced if you wanted to send money into their country, you could only do so through the, what's the name of their currency? Whatever their dollar is, their paper money is, the Petro, which is their digital currency, which also isn't recognized, but they also do have their own central bank digital currency, and you could do it through Litecoin and Bitcoin. My mind exploded and my brain leaked out of my head, and I tried to explain how insane that was, that a country had openly come out saying that they had adopted Bitcoin, and no one cared. The price didn't even move, and more so that it was a country who's under sanctions. That's the crazy part. They found a way to circumvent the US dollar, and everyone was like, meh. So now the country of Venezuela has now regulated cryptocurrency mining, and more specifically Bitcoin mining, because they're probably going to have a thing where if you are doing it, they want to know about it, and they want a fraction of the Bitcoin that's being mined. Why? Because they probably see Bitcoin as the way for them to continue in the future. If there is something that allows them to circumvent the US dollar, which I'm sure they have been doing for some time with Bitcoin, why not continue using it? Why not continue making it? The news that we had about a year or two ago was that a lot of people in Venezuela were actually mining Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as a way to eat. Not joking. Anyway, without getting too much into that, yes, here's the news in Spanish, which I had to find, and here's the actual news on it as far as the mining of it. Absolutely insane. This looks like a 1940s news article, like someone in the street like, extra, extra, read all about it. Doesn't it? Anyway, yeah. And I assume this, I mean, this of course won't make mainstream news, not saying that they are obligated to, cover such a news story, but I don't think news about another country really figuring out how to circumvent the usage of the US dollar and getting into crypto massively is going to make headline news in just about anywhere. And without further ado, because I think it's weird that they've come out with this news openly, but I'm pretty sure behind the scenes, other countries, especially those under sanctions, are definitely doing the exact same things, but simply behind closed doors, because once again, the US dollar is the world's reserve currency. It controls everything. It controls countries. You are told what you can and cannot buy, and in many cases, even if you are buying, petrol or any other thing, the last currency that it touches has to be the US dollar. You have to be reliant on the US dollar. Now imagine if you found something that allowed you and 15 other friends to not have to deal with the bully in your school. What would you do? You'd all start using that new thing and simply circumvent the bully, because we're in the future. Anyway, that's that news. Let's move on. And I think to finish things off, I'm not actually sure, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency says that federally regulated banks can continue holding stablecoin reserves from institutions, provided that some regulatory conditions are met. In an interpretive letter, I think this is it, signed by Senior Deputy Comptroller Jonathan Gold, the OCC provides the first national guidelines on how cryptocurrencies backed by fiat should be regulated. Oh, okay. This ties into what the BIS said yesterday, that stable coins were confusing, because to them there are multiple different stable coins, and I guess with the super obvious soon-to-be introduction of central bank digital currencies by countries, they need regulations in place to simply identify what constitutes a stable coin, which is what their currencies are also going to be. They're going to be a stable, they won't be pegged to anything. They're going to be pegged to paper money, which also won't. Anyway, the point is, I assume once they have a very clear definition, they're going to start declaring that other stable coins are illegal or are blacklisted or some other. I see it coming. It's way too obvious, because stable coins are too much of a threat to what they already have or what they're trying to build. So I assume they will be as revered isn't the word, as hated as Monero, Dash, and Zcash, kind of along those lines. Just heed my warnings. The OCC provides the first national guidelines on how cryptocurrencies backed by fiat should be regulated. By recognizing that holding deposits is a core banking activity, the OCC expressly reassures banks and Federal savings associations that they can continue receiving and holding stablecoin reserves on behalf of issuers. I assume this also has to do with the fact that Tether is right now so powerful. I assume that they're going to make a decree at some point that if you are going to continue using your stablecoin, that any money held will have to be held with a U.S. bank. Just not even thinking outside the box. I'm looking directly inside the box and I can see the crap inside of it. As the OCC recently affirmed, national banks may provide permissible banking services to any lawful business, any lawful business they choose, including cryptocurrency businesses, so long as they effectively manage the risks and comply with applicable law, including those relating to the BSA and anti-money laundering. Yeah, so this is not that, once again, I don't care for stablecoins or about them. Just know that they are an actual threat to the things that the current system is trying to build. This is why, once again, we saw such backlash when it came to Libra. We would not have seen any type of thing like that if any other coin had been released. It's the fact that not only is Facebook poisoning themselves to be the largest bank in the world with 2 billion customers immediately overnight, it's that other companies are mimicking doing the same. You'd better believe after the backlash that Facebook got, at least 2 other companies went to some type of regulator and were like, hey, here's the paperwork. We saw that we needed paperwork. This is our paperwork and paperwork. All right, see you later. And that probably went up to some higher up and they were like, okay, we got to nip this in the bud immediately because it ruins what we are trying to do. Like, imagine the popularity. Like, people already use, my friend's going to laugh. People already use PayPal. People already use all these other platforms and stuff like that. Now, imagine a world where Facebook, Libra, and Instagram, as popular as these platforms are, have their own currency. Imagine if Amazon has their own currency. Imagine if Apple has their own currency. Imagine, like, just the list can go on, but people would start to adopt these very rapidly, immediately. And all it would take is an endorsement from a celebrity. I don't know why I'm talking about celebrities so much, but they hold so much power. Imagine a Kardashian or some other really famous person announcing, hey, does anyone else use this? It's so quick, it's so fast. It would spread like wildfire almost immediately. That would completely stop, especially young people, from using anything else that remotely looked like a digital US dollar. They would simply imagine a platform. What's that one that they were just trying to ban within the US? Imagine that platform or any other similar platform that kids are using nowadays that allowed you to be paid exclusively, instantly from making a video. People liked it. You had 45,000 upvotes, upticks, and you got paid $25 in that currency. Why would you even think of touching the US dollar? What would make you and any of your friends even think about potentially doing anything else except for making videos all day, getting paid in that, especially if that app created a store online that had the support of Amazon, Kmart, Walmart, all these other places, yada, 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 where you could buy things on there instantaneously and at a discount with that currency. Remember, we were talking about that before with Libra. All it takes for instantaneous Libra adoption is for them to start partnering with Whole Foods, a whole bunch of other supermarkets, cafes, bars, restaurants, Uber, Lyft, who I think were also partners of Libra as well. Imagine you thinking about taking a cab, and the cab is going to cost $20. Ugh, I don't want to pay $20. You look on Uber. Uber says $16. That's kind of cool. And there's an option right next to it with a little red button. It says if you pay with Libra, your ride is $12. Well, gosh darn it, it looks like I'm going to be using Libra. That's all it takes. The governments no longer have, not that they don't have that power, but they don't have that power. Information, celebrity, all these things move very quickly. It takes months for something to be adopted worldwide. Imagine it took years to force people to use the US dollar. Imagine how quick it would take for all those things that I just said to happen. It would take maybe 2 or 3 months if you got the right celebrities to really push it. People would no longer even think of using any other currency because why would I use that if I can get a discount? Once again, it's the same exact thing. In the very beginning, people hated PayPal. Governments hated PayPal because it circumvented the use of the US dollar. You can look into it. It was a very big thing. And they made sure that there were hyper amounts of regulation on top of PayPal. And this is the PayPal that we kind of have right now. In the very beginning, you might not remember, in order to get you to use PayPal, they actually gave you free money to open a PayPal account. I think it was like $5 or $10. And you got more money depending on the amount of other people who joined your actual PayPal chain, whatever you kind of want to call it. But there were also discounts on many different websites. If you use PayPal, you would get a 5% discount. Anyway, enough of that. Yes. The world's a-changing very rapidly. All it takes is 3 big apps, 3 big something. Still no news on when Libra is going to be launching. To really launch, 6 months later, we would have a clear winner, especially if you were paid. Oh my gosh, if you were paid in that, you know how quick that would catch on? If you were able to use that app to stream video games, to talk about whatever you wanted, to dance on it, like... do whatever you thought was fun for your life. And you were like, the moment you ended that video, there was no delay. It didn't take to the first of the month to be paid. If you were paid instantaneously, think about how quick that would take off. Here's the actual PDF for it. OCC Chief Counsel's Interpretation on National Bank and Federal Savings Association Authority to Hold Stablecoin Reserves. What a nice title. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Tolek Banan, Snacky Chan, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain Decentralized, Peter, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyo, Nostromo, John Stars, and the Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohammed Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Damien Setsuna, Nick Mangialavodi, there we go, Paxis, Vlad the Impaler, Richie Wish III, Anthony Charles, why can't I read? Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Calcib's Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arithmetic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my new channels. And thank you to everyone who is here. Thank you all very, very much for your support. At the moment, Bitcoin's price is $10,332.7. Here's where we hit just a smidge above 10,000. We bounced off of that. And the cryptocurrency market tried to do the exact same. This is why some coins you'll see are in green because they follow that upward momentum. Yeah, it's a little Christmas tree. We're looking Christmassy because it's a lot of red and greens all over the place. Uniswap is trying its darndest, bless its heart, like really trying to pump. I saw so much Uniswap news about how Uniswap was going to be this and Uniswap was going to be amazing. They're really trying their hardest to bring it back up in price. It dumped completely yesterday, so that's an indication. Omise Goes also still hanging in there. I don't know what's going on. Why the price is... Anyway, yeah. I do hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Make sure to do something to make yourself smile, to make yourself laugh. Go watch something funny. Go hang out with friends if you can. And digitally invite people over, watch something funny. I don't know what I'm trying to... Just do something that makes yourself laugh today, because the world is a little sad. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. Go get some ice cream. Go buy some cake. Get a brownie. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.